This month it's also going to be such an eye-opener when it comes to you, my gorgeous Cancer, indeed. And I mean this. This is going to be so important because, you know, you're going to come to terms with a very specific part of your life and the actual change that you're going to need to make after that moment in time, after that point in time, because you are going to become aware of something very unusual, very strange and very bizarre. It's almost going to be like kind of like a rather mysterious. There are going to be so many elements attached to this particular situation that you cannot understand fully, cannot understand completely, but you will most certainly know that something is not quite right, that something is a little bit wrong. So that in itself is going to be such a big moment in time, because exactly within the next 7 days, after that moment in time, you will not even realize how things are going to happen to you, how things are going to manifest, and the actual spiritual seeds that you are going to plant at that very moment in time, because that in itself is going to be a remarkable moment in time when it comes to your own turning point. So this, within the next 7 days, this is actually going to give you the bravery, it's going to give you confidence, it's going to give you self-power that you didn't feel in a long time. So that is going to remind you of who you are. It is going to create such a powerful spiritual moment of you coming back, coming home to yourself. It's important to pay attention to yourself and to think about yourself and to take care of yourself, because if you do not do this, then you're not going to be able to help to anyone else. So you have to like kind of really come back to yourself and have this remarkable starting point, starting moment in life. And that is going to lead within the next 7 days. What is actually going to happen, it's you carrying on with a certain plan that was pretty much so part of your life, part of your existence. It was on your mind subconsciously and consciously over the last 17 months indeed. And the only reason why you maybe didn't want to do this, why you maybe didn't take this road, didn't take this path, it's purely because there was so much that was going on and happened that scared you, and it's just like pretty much so slowed you down. So this is you coming back home to yourself. This is you coming back home to your own path. This is you listening to your own intuition, follow your own subconscious mind, but at the same time having a bravery and understanding that you didn't have before. This is going to be a massive confirmation, like a mind-blowing confirmation, which is going to put you on the path that you should be on. And that in itself is going to be connected to the new plan, but it's not as such new plan. It's just the uncertainties that you felt before. Now you will just want more out of it. Now you will just want more out of life. So this is why this is so important, because by the time you get to the last 10 days in January 2022, there is even more going to be confirmed to you. There is even more that you're going to realize. There is even more that you're going to learn, and more so, you know, that is going to really make you aware of the possibilities, you know, around your current situation that you weren't aware of before. It's almost like your own spiritual little personal reward for your own bravery and just doing things that make sense to you. My name is Sasha Bonasin, and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Cancer, and it's for January 2022. So this monthly horoscope tarot card focus is for you, my gorgeous Cancerini, and it's for January 2022. Your number when it comes to the actual numerology is number 82, which means, you know, stay true to yourself. Stay committed to yourself. What you want to do, you should do. What you want to create, you should create. What you want to explore, you should explore. Because the energy of the actual month of January is going to be on your side. You know, there are like very important negotiations that you're going to have. You are going to come out of yourself, but also like pretty much so. This is going to feel different, but in a good way. So that, you know, every step of the way, you're going to feel more inspired. You know, you need to just understand to stay committed to yourself and just keep going, as I said before, no matter what. Okay, because, you know, the more energy you put towards things that you want to achieve, that like a lot you're gonna get out of it, because the energy of the January is just going to give you that extra push when it comes to your own confidence, but also when it comes to you making things happen, and also when it comes to you responding to your own ideas, responding to your own uniqueness, uniqueness, because you're remarkable when you just set your mind to do something. You just go for it, and you most certainly do it. You're one of the most powerful signs when it comes to that. But you also get affected quite a lot by the negativity and devilish energy that is like kind of going on around at the moment. So this is something that is going to build your own spiritual bubble where you're going to feel absolutely content within. So it's also number 82 means that basically it's about like an important part of your life is just, it's not as such as coming true, but it's just also like a really amazing and very kind of powerful impact you will have, you know. It's just like basically an achievement. You're going to become aware of your own achievement. Maybe the energy was so heavy so far, and it was just taking you into different places elsewhere. So it's all about, you know, giving credit to yourself, giving credit to your own uniqueness, and also paying attention to what you have achieved so far, but also rewarding yourself, you know, being nice to yourself, being gentle to yourself, because, you know, you will realize, oh my God, you know, something that, you know, pretty much so you wanted to do for a while, you know, you are going to make a very, very big step that is going to bring you so much closer towards where you should actually be. Something really important is going to come through by the end of the January 2022, something so significant, something so something that you have been working on, something that you wanted to achieve, but you just need to remember it's all about you feeling really rejuvenated, and also some kind of unexpected help that you will have. I'm not saying that you need help, but I'm just saying that, you know, there is a certain person that is very important to you and very close to you who is actually going to be playing an important role. They will tell you something, they will remind you of something, and then you will be like perked up almost immediately. Oh, okay, then, you know, it's someone very special to you, someone very close to you, like your friend or a family member. They will pinpoint something about you that you should be doing, you should be paying attention to, and you know what, this is actually going to be the exact thing that you should do. Because people that are in our lives, they are meant to be in our lives, they are meant to be part of our spiritual journey. So we learn from them and they learn from us. We point things to them and they point things to us. This is sacred because there are specific elements that they know more about us than we know more about ourselves. So this is how this works. It's important because it's happening at around the time when you're reaching a full circle, but also you are going to plant a very important spiritual seed by the end of the actual January 2022. The last 7 days of January, this is going to become quite obvious because you're going to feel very strong and powerful optimism and inspiration, and every single time when you think about the continuation of your life that makes you feel really good, you know, this is going to be a sign. Your own vibration is just going to, like, it's going to be almost impossible to actually ignore. So this is why this is so important, but it's also going to help you realize within you that you're very, very close to something very special, very specific, and very powerful. You also, number 82 in numerology means that you need to believe in your personal power, because, you know, at the same time, what you need to remember that, you know, you're going to find yourself like a very indecisive, and the indecisive situation is going to take place on the 2nd of January, 12th of January, and 22nd of January. These 3 days, you know, you're going to find yourself indecisive. Maybe there are going to be certain forces from the outside, but you just need to trust yourself. You need to follow your own path. You need to follow your own path by believing in your personal power. This is really important. It's almost connected to the certain justice that you're going to become aware. The more you believe in yourself and the more you believe in your personal power, the greater justice you're actually going to have out of this. Because March and April 2022, it's all about, it's going to be connected to the certain justice that you're going to have, certain victorious moment in time. But it's pretty much so going to be very highlighted this month, you know. This is also about you making very important first steps. When it comes to this month, you are going to make such an important first steps. But let me tell you this, let me stress this, the personal steps are going to come from you realizing, you know, what exactly do you need to do and what exactly do you need to avoid, because you're going to find yourself like facing like two mind-blowing paths. One path is going to be very easy to get to. No, baby, no. And the other path is going to be like a pretty much so much more difficult, and you're going to need to work, and you're going to need to find your way around things, okay? Because by then there is something very wise that is going to come to you. By then you will become aware of this situation, this information that I'm talking about, that is going to change the way you look at things in the best possible way. So this is something to pay attention to, okay? So it's all about the actual, it's and also like a remarkable time for planning. So what you're gonna 82, it's a very powerful number, which means that your subconscious mind is gonna be pretty much so like, my lord, like all over the place, parts of all sorts of dimension. So it's gonna be very magnetic in so many ways. So as soon as you find yourself planning, then at that moment in time you release yourself. When you find yourself planning about the future, follow your intuition. At that very moment in time you release yourself, but you also create this absolutely mind-blowing energy, which is rather magnetic when it comes to you basically achieving things and like feeling vibration and energy that you didn't feel in a long time. On another hand, just let me tell you that you're actually, by believing in your personal power, by following your intuition, by sometimes doing things that maybe, some other people wouldn't do. This is entirely down to you, following specifically your own psychic feelings, your own intuition, and your own third psychic eye, your own pineal gland, because the communication is going to be absolutely undeniable. What you're going to feel, it's going to be undeniable. As I said, you're going to become aware of like some kind of like a danger and uncertainties, but then again, you will not be able to tell what exactly this is, but most certainly you will know what to avoid. So just remember this. On another hand, it is just basically what you need to remember, that something very kind of important that you've been waiting for over the last 9 to 10 months as well. It created such an annoying obstacle because it put you in the state of like unknowingness, and that in itself just pretty much so made you feel really disorientated, and you almost got used to it, because sometimes we just get used to this vibration and energy and we don't even notice it anymore. If you were like waiting for the certain news or information when it comes to like your own kind of achievement, for example. So this is what you're gonna have, a very important news and information for something that you have been waiting for something that you have been working on, which is going to bring you really great success, and also it's to do with materialistic attainment. It's to do with your finding yourself on a slightly advanced level and stage in your life, which is going to reflect almost immediately on your well-being. It's going to make you feel like really optimistic, and it's also like a very annoying difficulty. This is even more important. It's like you're moving on with your life, but at the same time it's about this difficulty that was affecting your balance, that you don't realize how much it affects your balance until you reach this moment in time when things become crystal clear and you just feel in a very specific way vibrationally that things are changing, and things are going to change even more as long as you stay on your path, and as long as you do not give your spiritual candle that you should be carrying to somebody else. If you give your spiritual candle that you should be carrying to highlight your own path, to light your own path, if you give it to somebody else out there in this darkness at the moment, then it's just like you're not going to see where you're walking, where you're going. So this is something for you to remember, and this is most certainly going to make you feel very much so grounded in a spiritual way, but also it's going to make you feel really stable when it comes to your own finances. On another hand, I really like it because I think that you have been worrying quite a lot, and this month it's also going to bring you like the great feeling of peace and tranquility, and this is brilliant because it's almost going to feel like, it's like a little rest after, that big obstacle that you've been through, worrying, negativity, this like suck out the energy out of you like a big mama, like there is no tomorrow. So this affects every single part of your life, every single level of your life, when it comes to your planning, when it comes to your optimism, the way you feel. So this is all going going to be pretty much connected. So this is very important that, you know, when you feel, oh God, you're just going to have a moment like that. It's so powerful, such a powerful moment. You're going to feel, oh, thank God, you know, after that obstacle is resolved, you know, then this is going to give you the confidence in your life where you should have the confidence in your life, but also, you know, it's just going to basically, it's just going to, on one hand, it's going to confirm that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right things, but then on another hand, it's going to make you aware. It's like maybe even on one hand, you know, it's going to make you aware of like maybe you're going to be disappointed and feel really, oh my God, you will hear something about a certain person or a certain group of people, and at the same time this is going to make you feel like really disappointed and maybe like you again like really weird, you know. But this is, oh gosh, but this is going to be brilliant, because at the same time you are going to change your mind, and as soon as you change your mind about a certain things that you've been planning and you wanted to do, and these things were kind of like are very strongly connected to May and June 2022. So this is going to have a very big impact on what is happening in May and June 2022. So what is going to have a big impact? The fact that you are going to pretty much, so this is going to put you on the path where you will just want more out of life. You're going to find yourself on a very important, powerful spiritual quest. So this is what's going to happen after you feel this peace and tranquility and this wonderful healing energy. You know, not that long after that moment in time, you're also going to find yourself on a spiritual path where you will want more out of life. You're really completely going to just really come to terms with the fact that you don't want your life to be like this. You don't want to live like this anymore. You just want more out of life. And once you find yourself on a spiritual quest like this, it's like, my Lord, nothing can stop you. Nothing can change your mind, because it's about the knowledge that you gained by this moment in time. It's about the knowledge that you gained by this moment in time, but it's also about your own power, which internally increased, because you will know that you are doing the right thing by choosing the direction that you want to choose, the way you want to choose, when you want to choose it, how you want to choose it. You know, you don't need to explain this to anybody else, you know. This is important. So it's going to, so you finding yourself on a spiritual path, this is actually going to open your eyes towards new possibilities, which are going to bring some very important people in your life, new relationships, but also it's going to help you to spiritually grow, where you're going to most simply and certainly you're going to have a new approaches to old problems, you know, through your own new knowledge. What else I was going to say, this in itself, it's also going to make you feel very creative, and on another hand, it's about the actual beginning of a very meaningful experience, almost like an adventure. And the meaningful experience that you're going to have, it's going to be very strongly highlighted in between the 15th of January and the end of that month. In between the 15th of January and the end of that month, you are going to have a very meaningful experience, and that meaningful experience, it's also at the same time going to make you feel really adventurous, but also at the same time it's going to really remind you who you are, and it's also going to start a process of change, a mind-blowing process of change. In the spiritual term, we are talking about the actual baby, not the baby in the real world, but in the spiritual term. But when it comes to the actual baby in the real world, it means that you are in between the 15th of January and the end of that month. You are going to start something absolutely mind-blowing, something that is going to seem tiny, but you're going to like it so much, and something that it's going to be growing, and it's literally going to change your life. Baby in the real world, it's an absolutely remarkable thing. It's one of the most amazing things that can actually happen in this world. Everything about giving birth, about having a baby, about having that experience, it just changes people forever in the best possible way. But on another hand, baby is constantly changing, and we are constantly learning, and the baby is constantly learning. So this is going to be an absolutely mind-blowing moment in your life, my gorgeous Cancerini, where you're going to be learning and growing, and it's all about you starting something absolutely mind-blowing. By the time you get to the actual June and July 2022, this is when this is going to blow up completely. So most certainly pay attention to that meaningful experience that is going to feel quite adventurous, but at the same time, you know, there is something very specific for you going to be there to understand, something that that you didn't feel in such a long time. It's going to become the part of your own existence in terms of inspiration, the way you feel, you know, what you want to do next. You know, there is just so much inspiration that you're going to have, and I really, really like it. On another hand, you know, there is going to be a really powerful influence from somebody who's very close to you. Again, somebody, you see, the people in your life are also going to be playing an important role, because somebody is going to be inspiring you. Maybe you're going to be uncertain, oh, I'm not too sure, you know, but then again, the inspiration through somebody in your life, somebody who is not going to tell you, do this, do that, no baby, no, but somebody who is like, it's going to happen to be at around you at the right moment in time, through this psychic challenge, channeling and vibration. We find out specific information and we understand things about our lives on a very high level, and it happens in a very interesting way, again, through people in our lives. So somebody is also going to be playing an important role when it comes to you feeling inspired by the right person. Maybe you will be kind of, I'm not too sure, and then you will see that person is like, yeah, do you know what, I'm gonna do this. And also number 444 or 44 or 4444, any number 4 combination that you see, just remember that, you know, this that number, when you see this number 44444, something that is on your mind that you're so uncertain about, you know, you should maybe just go for it. It's to do with the next step in your life when it comes to things that you should be creating, doing, making, starting, when it comes to something that is going to explode in the best possible way, when it comes to like a specific part of your life that is going to come into the actual fruition. So this is what you need to pay attention to every single time when you see number 44444 or any type of this combination repeating, something on your mind that you're uncertain about. It's actually going to bring you the greatest fruition ever. When it comes to the actual health and nutrition, my gorgeous Cancerini, it is very important to take something like the actual natural B vitamin complex, because it's going to boost your energy, it is going to boost your vibration, it's going to feed your brain literally when it comes to you feeling a little bit worried, you know, and also it's going to be beneficial for your entire digestive system, because your digestive system is going to be sensitive again. If you take a B vitamin complex, you take it the first thing in the morning, and basically the reason why, because you shouldn't take all the supplements like the very first thing in the morning, because some of them can be a little bit heavy, but a B vitamin complex is fine, and it's also even more so, it's going to be beneficial when it comes to boosting your energy. So it's great to take it the first thing in the morning as well. You need to remember that folic acid in between this B vitamin complex needs to be made as a folate, which is the natural version of folic acid, and also B12 needs to be made as the actual methylcobalamin, which is the natural version of this particular vitamin, rather than going for something which is like kind of like a chemical. No baby, no. And also something like a strong vitamin D. You also need to take it at least at around 2000 milligrams of vitamin D a day, because your bones are going to be quite sensitive. But also when it comes to the vitamin D, you just need to pay attention to the actual, it needs to be natural as well. If you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor, you just need to check with your GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So now, my gorgeous Cancerini, I'm going on the very first date that I think that it's going to be quite important. It's going to be on the 5th of January. The 5th of January, it's going to be really important indeed, but the 1st of January is still going to be a little bit of like a cloudness and confusion that you're going to feel, and this is going to make you feel really uncertain. This is exactly how it's meant to be. Don't worry, because the energies are going to be very unspecific and very strange and very unusual on the very 1st of January, so it doesn't really matter. It's what is important is what is actually at the back of your mind, in your subconscious mind. The 2nd, 3rd and 4th of January, now we are talking, baby. 2nd, 3rd and the 4th of January 2022, there is going to be the realization that you're going to have. This is going to be the great time when you're going to have your eyes open. That realization is going to be the great eye opener at the same time. Something very important is going to come to you, like some kind of a psychic vision, some kind of a spiritual vision. You will not be able to explain this like whatsoever, understand it completely, but somehow feeling so psychic, like, my lordy lord, this is like the greatest blessing ever, because it's going to point out towards towards the specific part of your life that you're going to become aware of, to avoid, to not to do it, to go around it, because it's going to be make you aware of like some kind of a tower and a situation that would just like kind of take you back like big time, but you will become aware of that situation, and that in itself it's going to be like a pretty much so blessing, because it's going to give you the opportunity to actually level yourself up with things that you want to do, but also to protect yourself from that tower. So you need to see what is going to come to you, some kind of like situation that maybe you shouldn't do it, maybe you shouldn't go for, maybe you should avoid. But this is also very strong time when it comes to your own personal spiritual confirmation. What you need to do is just basically, why is this really good? It's because it's going to start to make you feel in a certain way, and it's going to redirect you nicely here to actually do things that only make sense to you in your own devotion. Your own loyalty to your own self is the main priority here, by offering services and even more efforts towards something very specific, towards something that you feel very strongly about. And you will know what this is, because this is to do with your own goal, but you just need to kind of trust yourself. At the same time, it's about an absolutely big mama great determination that you are going to have. This is going to bring even more initiative, more strength. It's going to bring this activity that you didn't feel in such an absolute ages. And also at the same time, you know, this is an important part of your life that is going to bring you success, okay? And when you kind of like don't even really kind of expect this, you know, and the best things in life happen when we kind of least expect them, because most certainly this is going to bring a deep emotional feeling within you. And so you are going to find yourself like on a pretty much on the path. Oh yeah, baby, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it, because it's going to inspire you so much. So it's going to be absolutely impossible to ignore, you know, but also at the same time, you are going to have a very, very successful compromise. You know, that in itself, the 5th of January, between the 5th of January and the 16th of January 2022, it's all about a very successful and powerful, mind-blowing compromise that is actually going to come out of it. Indeed, you will like it. I would also like to recommend you my gorgeous Cancerinis, this gorgeous strawberry quartz pendant. This is my new pendant, a part of my new lines, and it's absolutely remarkable when it comes to having a powerful energy to stimulate flow of happiness, to make us feel good, to make us open up, to inspire us, to make us feel positive and optimistic at a time when the things are a bit clicky, you know. So this is why this is so important. And also every time when you want to communicate, when you want to say right things, when you're doing something important, when you want to grow in every possible way, when you want to understand things that you don't understand, when you're kind of like worrying, you know, but this helps you to kind of come out of yourself. It brings like a beautiful sacred sunshine into your life, because it almost immediately, it has got this powerful effect on us, okay? Just remember that this makes you feel really optimistic, because this stimulates the flow of happiness, okay? So this comes with a gorgeous sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Cancerini, you're also supporting my channel, I have to say that. The second important date is going to be on the 17th of January. On the 17th of January, you are going to have a very unusual sign. The unusual sign that you are going to have, it's going to come through somebody who used to be in your life. It's going to be the spirit from the other world, from the spirit world, somebody who was very strongly connected to you. And sometimes, you know, maybe if you're young enough, or maybe you haven't got any, you don't have anyone in your life who maybe passed away or died, you know. It could be like maybe somebody who died or passed away like when you were really tiny, you were a baby, but there is, and they know you, this spirit knows you. So there is some kind of spirit that is going to return into your life, and that spirit is also at the same time going to point you the way, going to point you towards a certain direction, because the way this is going to happen, it is just like You need to pay attention to unusual signs on this day. You need to pay, in fact, in between the 17th and the 22nd of January. In between the 17th and the 22nd of January, you know, it goes until the 22nd when the spirit is going to come through forward, and it's going to give you a very unusual sign. Maybe something is going to fall off. Maybe there is going to be the temperature change. Maybe something is going to start flicking, like the light bulb. You know, maybe you will smell the certain perfume. Maybe you will smell the certain food. You know, it really depends how this is going to happen. But once the spirits come through, once that spirits come forward, you know, it is also going to point the part of your life that you need to pay attention to, what you are restraining yourself about. It's about the part of your life that you should abandon because it came to an end. The lesson that you've already learned, you've learned that lesson, so you don't want this karmic baggage to be like completely attached to you, because it's making you feel like restrained more often than normally you would. So this is what the spirit is gonna, on one hand, try to warn you and to make you to pay attention to the certain part of your life came to an end, but also at the same time to pay attention to yourself, because you are about to have the greatest progress of your life. Like, oh my God, with something that you're still kind of uncertain about, something that you still have a little bit of blockage. So this is what the spirit wants you to pay attention to. One part came to an end, and another part you still have a blockage that you should just go for it, because it's going to bring you the greatest progress of your life. And you will know what that is, because it's going to be on your mind. Something is still kind of going to be clicking out of the picture here, that just after that moment in time, a lot is going to fall into place. My God. And even if you don't understand at this moment in time almost immediately, then you know, it could be within the next few days. It's just going to come to you, and you will know exactly what I was saying. Your eyes are going to be open, but also on another hand, you know, this is going to bring you accomplishment and absolutely realization, what part of your life to kind of cut out because it came to an end. But also on another hand, you know, it's going to bring you growth and amazing progress. And then on another hand, why else the 17th of January is going to be quite important, because it's just basically it's a very kind of successful dealings that you are going to become a part of. You know, now this is really brilliant, because when it comes to these dealings that you are going to have, this is going to be very successful, and it's also going to be more successful than it would normally be. But to make it even more successful, the reorganization is going to be needed as well after that moment in time. So just remember this is important, that the reorganization is going to consist of the actual you discontinuing the certain part of your life, you know, but then at the same time, you know, you're gonna almost immediately become aware of something better. Almost immediately you're going to become aware of things that make sense to you, and this in itself, it's also going to become the light at the end of the tunnel, because it's going to create this vibration within you that you need in order to move on with your life, to feel things, you know, again, when it comes to the excitement about your life and excitement about the future. You know, there's a spark within you that is going to be almost impossible to ignore. Your lotus moment is coming up, my gorgeous Cancerini, which means that you've been through the mud, you've been through the water, and now you're gonna come up. It's important indeed. Okay, and also on the 17th of January, please there is also one very specific idea that you should pay attention to, and that idea for this moment in time, you just keep it to yourself, or just you can say to people maybe who just mean to you so much, okay? Because for some reason that idea wouldn't really sit well with people who don't understand you, with people who can't realize what you are saying, what you're talking about, you know. So this is just something that at the moment you just keep to yourself, you say to people who are very close to you, for example. Okay, so, and also the 17th of January is just like a basically, I would just really in between the 17th of January and the end of that month, just try to like kind of like avoid confrontations. I'm not saying that you are going to have confrontations, but I'm just saying that you're going to come across person or people throughout this month who are going to have a completely opposed or different opinions to you, and there is absolutely no point, because you have got got a very strong way of thinking about this specific situation, and this person and group of people, they also have a completely different opinion to you. You're all the way in Germany and they're all the way in Hawaii. You know, it just doesn't, it is, nothing is going to change. You're here, they're there. So I'm just warning you that there are going to be quite a few people around who are going to have a bit, pretty much so like opposed opinions to you. You will be as strong as they are strong about their opinions. So try to avoid this, because it's absolutely no point. This is the waste of energy at this point, at this moment in time. So if there is some kind of like a, oh God, you know, confrontation or something like that just please try to avoid. Important. Okay, what else I was going to recommend you would be Seraphinite, on another new gorgeous little crystal in my store, and this is brilliant for healing for nerves and brains, but also it caused old patterns of negativity to fall away, because you have been through a lot, and you witnessed a lot, you've been through a lot, you've been through lots of worries and lots of uncertainty that affected you, you know, in so many different ways. So this is why it's so important to start afresh, to start new, 2022 year. And it's also going to be very remarkable to wear in January, February, March and April 2022. Every time when you feel unusual, every time when you feel spaced out, every time when you feel uncertain, every time when you feel like an energy blockage, this is a great energy, this is an absolutely mind-blowing when it comes to like energy blockages, you know, because it's like almost immediately it has got this ability to kind of like to change that balance within us. Okay, so this is something I would highly recommend you. This also comes with sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, my gorgeous Cancerini, you're also supporting my channel as well. The 31st of January is going to be so brilliant, because there is an absolutely, oh my God, you know, that it looks like you've been through lots of troubles, you know, when it comes to like some kind of emotional confusion that caused so many problems. 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 It's finally coming to an end. It's finally coming to an end. I like it so much. That's how you're gonna feel. I pick up on this energy. So a very annoying emotional confusion. This caused so many problems, and the 31st of January, this is gonna become absolutely evident here. And just remember, at the same time, you know, there is a very interesting advice that you are going to get. Very interesting advice, how to deal with the part of your life that you want to do, that you want to find yourself, but you just like kind of like really having a lack of strength. So the very interesting advice that you are going to have, it's going to respond to the very big and important question that you have, but it's pretty much so to do with the part of your life that caused so much like kind of energy draining. It drained your energy, but it's primarily made you like kind of be lacking your own strength, you know. This is absolutely brilliant. And also on another hand, the 31st of January, it's going to bring you a very important and powerful news. It's to do with the justice and justice and justice, you know, justice, what you have been waiting for. Justice, you know, this also like kind of affected you so much. It affected your balance, it affected your way of thinking, and now this is about to be very rewarding, because you are gonna hear a very good news and very positive news and very optimistic news when it comes to your own justice. Okay, so this is going to be so rewarding, and it's almost immediately going to bring an absolutely mind-blowing harmonious energy into your life, because it's going to make you feel really satisfied. But on another hand, you know, there is a very important thing that you're going to learn through that as well. Something very important you're going to learn here. This is something very specific, but it's also like pretty much so to do with, you know, like some kind of very kind of important, powerful learning experience here. This is brilliant, because at the same time, It's going to make you feel really good about yourself, but also it's going to make you aware that it's time for a new start, where you have to trust yourself. You need to follow your intuition. You need to push your fears aside and take a leap of faith. The more you do this, the more successful you're going to be, and you will see exactly what I mean here. Important indeed. Okay, so now I'm just going to midnight, know the sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She's smiling alone. In the lamplight, the withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Cancerini, I love you, Cancerini, my gorgeous Cancerini, my gorgeous Cancerini. Now I'm just going to see what the first part of January are going to bring you, mid part and the last part of January. So the first part, what to pay attention to, what to focus on, the first part of January, just be very positive, be very optimistic, because, the very positive changes that are going to start taking place here, and I like it. This is important because it's also the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take place here, the light at the end of the tunnel. Always go towards the light, always go away from the darkness, always walk away from the darkness, and always walk away towards the light. The mid part of January, pay attention to this because it's important. You need to bring balance into your life. You need to reconnect and connect with the nature. We are part of the nature. The nature is part of us. The nature you're going to find very positive here, very kind of like very, very useful in so many different ways to clear lots of blockages just by walking throughout the forest. You're going to clear lots of blockages, but at the same time there are so many things that are going to come to you that are going to make you feel inspired. So this is important to bring the balance into your life. The last part of January, oh my lord, it's all about the important clarity, especially the last 7 days, my lordy. It's all about an important clarity, and important clarity is going to help you to make a choice, and that in itself, is just going to be so important when it comes to you moving forward with your life. Okay, very, very important, because you're going to move forward from unhappiness and things that made you feel sad. And now I'm just going to see what is going to happen to those of you who are in relationship, my gorgeous Cancerini. This is for January 2022. So it's just basically, two complex situations for those of you that are in relationship, that your partner may be in a little bit of a danger. Not a bad danger, please, not a negative, nothing horrible. No, baby, no. I'm talking about two specific situations. Just stay with me, please. Two specific situations, something that you both have been working on, you and your partner, something that means to you so much, but now that basically it's needs to go on the next stage, and it needs to kind of like go to someone. And the first person, there are going to be two people that are going to be connected to this, if that makes sense. I really hope it does. So something that you have been working on, something that you wanted to achieve, something that you want to happen, something that you want to take on the next level, you and your partner is pretty much so kind of more responsible for that, if that makes sense. He's just a bit more like kind of like in charge. So your partner needs to be the one who needs to like kind of have their eyes open, because it needs to go through someone else. The first person, I don't like that first person. Maybe some kind of negotiation or something. It's like a little bastard here, okay? Little snaky snake. So the first person, someone in any deals that you could have, any negotiations, and someone first comes along, you say like, bye darling, especially if something doesn't feel right, because there is a second person that is going to come through, that is going to come along, that you're going to be able to do this, you see? And that is going to be brilliant, because that other person is just through them. There are certain desires desires that you're going to realize. There's a certain expectation that you will kind of realize through them, but also it's going to be important because that other person is going to give you some kind of ideas. Okay, so it's someone more knowledgeable. So this is something I need you to remember. On another hand, when it comes to those of you, my gorgeous Cancerinis, who are single and ready to, hello my darling, so who are single and ready to mingle, I'm just joking, but for those of you who are single and ready to mingle, oh, it looks like you are going to have a very kind of important realization here. You need to kind of change things. There is something that you're like kind of not honest with yourself, you know, like kind of you know what you need to do in order to change things if you're single. But there is like some kind of blockage that you're going to become aware of. That blockage was preventing you to bring someone very special in your life if you're still waiting for someone very special. So there is the kind of hermit moment that you're going to have, my single Cancerini. And that hermit moment is going to make you to kind of like withdraw a little bit, kind of be by yourself a little bit and think. And then something is going to come to you through this self-illumination and enlightenment when it comes to you being in self-denial. You will realize the specific change that you need to make in order to bring someone very special in your life. And that in itself is going to open your eyes and it's going to put you towards the direction that you have been too frequently too restrained also because of this. So this is going to be double whammy, you know, that you are going to have. So it's the specific part of your life that came to an end and now you just need to move on and go somewhere else. So this is important that at the same time this is kind of gonna pretty much so going to spiritually penetrate you, but also it's going to kind of give you ideas and it's going to kind of give you a very strong sense of the direction. That new direction that is going to come up through this situation, it's going to require from you to do something different. And now this is going to be the big moment in time because it's happening when it's exactly meant to happen. So you will see exactly what I mean. So you will realize exactly which change do you need to make, and that change is going to bring new people into your life, someone very special indeed, but it's going to happen in February or March 2022. Just remember, one step at a time. Okay, my gorgeous Cancerini, I love you all so much. I wish you the happiest new year 2022, and we really can all hope that it's going to be much better than that bastard of 21, that bastard of 2021. I shouldn't say this, but then it just comes to me, you know, and that's it, you know, that's how I feel, because a lot of people just went like completely like so negative, and I mean, not a surprise, is it? But, you know, anyway, so I wish you the best 2022 year. I wish you all the best, my gorgeous Cancerini. Just like you need to understand, just to stay on top of things, just do things that make sense to you, be as optimistic as you can, and just focus on your life. Okay, I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light, my gorgeous Cancerini. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous Cancerinis. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.